Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first series of Women and Empowerment. I am so happy and I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to invite my very first guest to this live. She's nobody else but Leisis from Angels and Allies. She's based in Florida, so she's coming from Florida. Let's get her online. Let's see. She's in. Normally, if everything is going well, yes, we're connecting. So she's coming. Hey, hi, girl.
Hey, good
How
morning. How are you?
morning? I am fine. How about
Awesome.
yourself?
I'm well, thank you. It's 7 o'clock in the morning here, and I couldn't think of a better way to start the day. Thank you so much
Oh,
for having me.
yeah. Thank you for coming online. I'm so excited to have you here.
Me
Um,
too.
maybe before we start, maybe a check with the audience. Are we visible? Can everybody hear us? It's also very important.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey,
Hi.
hello. Hi.
All right. Let's see. Okay, if somebody can just put a wave or something or a smiley that you can hear us, then we can start with the live.
We are well. We are well.
I
Hi, good
think
morning.
everybody,
Good morning.
I think everybody can see us.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Can somebody just, all right, a smiley. So we're on,
There we go.
everybody, we're
Awesome.
visible and everybody
Awesome.
can hear us. So yeah, I'm starting this live series because I think it's so important to make more awareness and make it more negotiable, women and empowerment. And yeah, I love the work that you are doing, and I think it's so in line with women and empowerment. So let
Thank
me
you.
give the word to you so you can introduce yourself and talk about Angels and Allies and everything you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you so much. Likewise, I love the work that you're doing as well. And
Thank you.
I agree with you. I think that this kind of work is amazing. I think this kind of work is necessary. And I think that it is something that is important for us to talk about, especially since we do have access to information and to connect the way that we are connecting right now.
Mhm.
Like you said, we are based out of Miami, Florida. And what we do is we create opportunities and spaces for girls to be seen, to be heard, to have a sense of belonging, and also an opportunity for them to grow, right? So that they could gain the tools that are necessary for them to grow up to be women that are leaders
Yeah,
of their own lives, because that's what we're talking about right now. That's basically what empowerment is it's giving yourself that power. So
exactly.
that's what we do. We focus on girls because we believe that it all begins in
Mhm.
our childhood. All of it begins in our childhood. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we talked about it in advance about what we do and how you work and everything. Maybe you can enlighten a little bit more to the audience why you focus on girls between the age of 7 and 15. Why is it so important to start with gratitude, with building confidence in that age? Because I think that's also a very interesting topic to elaborate a little bit on.
Thank you. Yeah, we do. We start them pretty young. We actually start at about age 8. And the reason why is because there's a very interesting statistic, which is it's a phenomenon actually where females for our self-esteem peaks
Mhm.
between 9 and 13 years old. And
Exactly.
I mean, think about that for a second. Your self-esteem peaks,
Well,
between
yeah.
9 and 13. And after that, so many things happen for the first time. You go through puberty, you fall in love, you get your first job, you go to college, all these incredible things happen, and you've already peaked in confidence. And that low self-esteem and that low confidence, leads to other things. I mean, statistically speaking, people who have low life satisfaction, who have anxiety, depression, who have poor performance in life,
Mhm.
all report to have a low self-esteem. So that
Exactly.
is the reason why we focus on girls when they're younger. And we believe that if you have certain skills, then you are able to cope through some of the difficulties that happen, you know, just because we're human beings and we go through changes and life happens, right? But if you're equipped with certain tools, then you can better navigate through those difficult times. That's why we focus on girls. I was one of those girls. You know, I totally was one of those girls. And I remember going through that stuff, and I was an adult who faced depression and anxiety. And, you know, I this is my
Yeah.
way of trying to help. Yeah.
Give back, yeah, but I love
Yeah.
that. And it's also very true what you're saying, because when you're hitting puberty, everything is changing inside
Oh,
your body. You don't
oh,
know what's happening. You don't know how to act, how to behave. You're not a child anymore, but you're not a teenager as well. So what are you in between? And you're like in search for everything. And if you don't have the confidence in that moment, or you don't have the adults surrounding you with love and giving you the confidence, like, hey, it's okay that you have mood swings. It's okay
correct.
if you don't know what
Yes.
you're doing. Then I think it's very difficult, because there you
Oh,
form
yeah.
more and you take it further on.
Yeah, and you know, it's crazy because now, right, in this world that we're living in, this virtual world where we do have so much access to information, like we were sharing, instead of talking to their parents, many kids who feel that they can't talk to the parents or that don't want to talk to their parents are going to each other to get information, or going to the internet or social media to
Yeah,
get information.
exactly.
Yeah, and
Or
so
dangerous, exactly.
exactly. And so the information is skewed, the images are skewed, and the CDC reports that suicide among
Yeah,
kids
it's
is on the all-time rise. And you know, that's devastating.
that's
It's
devastating. It
it's
really is.
devastating.
And
Yeah.
especially also the part that you mentioned about social media and young girls and
Hmm.
identifying themselves with everything going on broadcasted on social media. That's a whole different topic we can talk about for
Oh,
hours.
for days. Oh, yeah.
Um, but it's picture perfect on social media. And for young girls, it's very difficult to see the reality, to know the reality and see what's on social media. And they will go and identify themselves with everything going on, and everything is perfect, but I'm not feeling perfect. What's wrong with me?
Right.
And you have like the everything starting the problem as well. I also want to say to the audience, if you have questions in between, make sure to ask them. I saw one question coming in already. Let me get it with us before we, from Bliss 11, what we should do to gain self-confidence. I love that question. That's, yeah, I will let you talk first.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the question. Thank you for being here. And that's, you know, that's a weighted question.
Hmm.
Confidence is something that you gain over time, and it's something. There's a lot of different things that you could do to gain confidence. My biggest recommendation is courage. That's the number one thing, is having courage. Selena, you deal with this all the time with adults, but I get this question from moms a lot. Well, what do I do to help my child, you know, have confidence? Modeling that behavior.
Hmm.
My child is watching me, right?
Exactly.
My child is watching me. I've got to walk around with confidence. I've got to handle things with confidence. And even if I'm afraid to do something, I've got to make sure that I'm modeling the behavior of a person. What would I want my child to do? I would want my child to face something that's scary and do it anyway. Do it anyway. Yeah, because even when that's one of the ways, and that's I think one of the most important ways as an adult, how we can help our kids be confident is
Oh,
by modeling. Yeah, for sure.
exactly.
I hope that helps. I hope that
It is, you are an example, and I think one of the key elements in that is as well to show your own vulnerability. It's like sometimes I
yeah.
remember when my son a couple of months ago, I started crying. It can happen, you have off days, and I started crying. Something happened, and he looked at me like, "Mom, what's going on? Are you broken?" And I had something like, "No,
Oh,
I'm not broken." And he's so, and it hit me at the same time like, you're always confident, you're always managing everything, and it's like you're some kind of super mom. but it's also showing your vulnerability. It's also showing like, hey, I have bad days, I have sad days, and you know what, in the end of the day, it's okay, because tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
is a new day. And the way he reacted on it as well made me more aware, like, hey, you are an example, you have to set a tone, and you have to be more aware as well about how you expose your feelings. So it's so true what you're saying. You are the example, and teach them, yeah, teach them young, like you say with angels and allies as well. Teach them young, give them a base so they can build on the rest of their life. Because no matter, you're going through phases, every age you're going through phases, and things will change. So the confidence won't be the same when you're 20 and when you're 30 and when you're 50, and you will bump into different things as well. So that's
Mm-hmm.
also a very important one. I hope it was an answer to your question, Bliss 11. If you have anything else you want to ask, feel free. I see another question coming in from Alicia. How can I overcome teenage depression and anxiety attacks? Oh my, that's really something, and that's also a very big question. Thank you for asking it, and having the courage to ask it here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, you work more with teenagers. I don't know if you have like a solution or anything that you say, like, I would recommend this, or.
So, Angels and Allies, we are one resource, right? And what we do is we connect you, if it's necessary, with other resources so
Mhm,
that, again, we create spaces where girls have opportunities and we work on tools. We work also with other professionals, other licensed professionals, whether it's with sex therapy, because sometimes we are dealing with trauma. And we also deal with other licensed professionals like psychotherapists.
mhm,
We have a hypnotist also that we refer to. And that's what I would recommend. I would recommend that you speak to a licensed professional who would
mhm.
be able to talk with you one-on-one, so that you could find out where, you know, your anxiety and your depression is stemming from, and so that they could find with you what the right solution is for you. That's what I would recommend. You know, and I would also recommend that you have a lot of compassion with yourself, a lot of, you know, give yourself space to experience what you're experiencing while you're actively letting yourself get help.
Exactly. Yeah, just let it be as well. Don't push it away. It
Yeah.
is what it is at the moment.
Yes.
It's not a pleasant experience, but just
No.
let it be.
Hmm.
And give space. Also, when your teenager is going through it, it's not something easy,
Oh, no.
but give them the space to have the anxiety. It sounds very strange what I'm saying, but give them the space to explore those feelings, and yeah, and find help. Exactly. That's
Hmm.
a good point.
Yes, absolutely. Speak to a licensed professional. Also, something that helped me a lot with my anxiety, and I'm not saying that it's specifically your solution, but it definitely helped me so very, very much
Yeah.
at the height of my anxiety, was when I began my meditation practice. When I
Exactly.
began my meditation practice, that changed the ball game. Oh my goodness! And
That's
I,
That's a
I
big difference. Exactly. I recognize so
huge,
much.
huge
Exactly. Yeah.
difference. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Hi, I see Rex is also online. Beautiful subject. Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
love it as well. Maybe you can talk a little bit more. Why did you start it with Angels and Allies? Where did it find the start? Where did it get the birth? Where did it started? Everything Angels and Allies, and how did you come up with that idea? And I think it's not something you wake up one morning and you think like, this is what I want to do. I think it's also a process. So why did you decide to start with this wonderful work?
Thank you so much for your question. So yeah, definitely the work was not something that was born overnight. And again, it was because of my own experience. Selena, the experience that I had, I'm a licensed registered nurse. Okay, so I'm a professional woman, I'm educated, and you know, I have resources. And I found myself in a position in my adult life where I was experiencing depression and anxiety. And I came to a point where I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? I am an educated professional woman who's helping other people, and I'm the one who's having these signs and these symptoms, and I didn't know how to help myself. And I went through a very terrible experience. And when I was coming out on the other side, I knew that I needed to talk about this because there are people out there that are not licensed, that are not educated, that don't have resources. What do they do? Do they ever find out that there's nothing bad going on with them? There's nothing, there's something that is fixable. There's something that, that is, that can be talked about, that can be addressed. And that's how it was born. That's how it was born. And I ended up meeting someone in New York. Her name is Melody, and she had a curriculum. She just happened to get in touch with me at the right time. I knew that I wanted to get the message out there. I didn't know how it was going to happen. And she helped me with that. And I became a facilitator for workshops. And so I'm a Girl Life facilitator in Miami. I've gone on to get other certifications, but that's how it started. That's how it was born. It was born from my own experience.
Wow,
Yeah.
so beautiful. So you turned your mess into your message, like we
Oh,
say,
yeah.
and you help, and this is how you give back to other girls and
Oh,
help
yeah.
with confidence.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you have like a lot of projects coming on as well. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, my God, I can't hear you. Wait. Sorry about that.
Oh no, I love it. No, I see some cool things coming by from time to time, and I think
Yeah.
like, why am I living so far from you?
I know. I want to connect too. I want to
I
connect
really
in
want to
person
see some
for
words.
sure.
So, no, if you can talk a little bit about things that you're, the projects that are coming up, and
For sure. Okay, so we've got one coming up. This one is specifically for girls that are 12 to 11 to 14 years old, and it's actually starting on Tuesday, August 18th. It'll be at 4 p.m. It's a series, okay? So we'll be doing that on Tuesdays. It's going to be on Zoom, and again, because of everything that we're doing in this virtual world, we figured it's really important that we start talking about how to identify inappropriate behavior on social media. We want to talk about sexting. We want to talk about positive imaging, cyberbullying,
oh wow,
about digital footprints and what it means when you're posting pictures on social media. We have a whole series where we're talking about digital citizenship for girls that are 11 to 14 years old. Again,
oh
that's
wow,
starting. Yeah, it's
that's
awesome.
really
It's so
awesome.
important. I've got a daughter. I've got a
Yeah,
daughter. I think it's important to talk about these things.
exactly. No,
You
but
know?
it is very important. So I
Yeah.
love that you make it negotiable, that you put it out there, and it is
Mm.
like for everyone. So if there are people listening right now and you say like, whoa, oh my God, it's for children as well, it's for teenager, or it's for the adults, or both?
This is for girls between the ages of 11 to 14 years old.
Between 11 and
Uh,
14. So if there are people watching this right now and they have like, oh, I want to inscribe my daughter, they can get in contact with you, send you a direct message, and they can still join them.
Yes, they can. There is still room. And we do also have a women's circle. We have a first time women's circle that is starting on August 19th, and that'll also be weekly. But that one is at 6 p.m. And that one is I Am the Girl Gang. And that is all about women and relationships because one of the most important things that we talk about is where we get the idea of how we have our relationships with ourselves,
Sorry.
other women, women in the workplace, how we see women as competition, and our relationship with women and money and men.
So,
Does that make sense?
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it
Yeah,
really
so
does.
we're going to talk about that stuff. We're going to talk about it because we think it's important, again, to just get in touch with just where, where your feelings and your behaviors stem from. And, with no judgment, no expectations, just put it out there. Let's just talk about it, see what's going on.
But it's also very important, and like
Oh,
we
yeah.
talk a lot about relationships, and even if you switch on the television, the radio, it's all about relationships and love, and how we behave in it. But it starts inside yourself, and it's also how you are an example, how you feel it, how you experience it as a parent, as a wife, in your profession, as entrepreneur, and how you mix everything together. So I think
Yeah.
very, very important to discuss. And I also think there's a lot of pressure nowadays. You have to check all the boxes. You have to be like the perfect mother. You have to be the one who eats healthy. You have to work out. You have to be the perfect wife. You have to be the awesome entrepreneur. There are so many boxes you have to check, and sometimes the pressure is like sky high.
Oh, yeah.
And how do you cope with that? How do you manage with all those things? And then even now with the pandemic and everything going on, how do you cope? So I think it's very good to bring a group of women together and talk about it. So sounds very interesting. That's for
Yeah.
sure. I
Yeah.
saw one question coming in from Rex. I don't know if she's still here. If we could chat a little bit more about anxiety and the pandemic.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's that's a tough one.
Ooh. That's
Yeah,
ongoing.
that's
That's
ongoing.
ongoing.
That's really ongoing, and it's a very good question, a very needed question, I think. I don't know how it's for you, but this here in Belgium, we have like a second wave going on right now. We're already in the second wave. So we gained a little bit more freedom, and now it's back to curfew, and we have to stay inside. We're in the danger zone in the province here. And I must say, the second wave, I don't know why, but I find it very difficult. It's like, how many waves are there coming? And I know for myself, I'm not, I want to go out, I want to go partying. I'm also in the home, I work from home, so everything is arranged. But yet there's something inside me like, I don't like what's going on. And it's really making me scared a little bit as well. Like, how long is it going to go on? And will the world be the same after? So, and how do you start and build your company, and how do you cope with it, and how do you be a parent in it as well? How do I explain to my son, like, hey, you cannot go out, you cannot go and play with friends? So it's like, it's a huge thing. I don't know how the things are in Miami right now, and how do you cope with it, and how do you cope with your children, and everything?
You know, it's such a, it's, I want to remind everybody that this is everybody's first time.
Mm-hmm.
We've never gone through a pandemic before. And as a society, as a collective, because yeah, the world has seen diseases before, pandemics before, but we've never gone through it collectively, where we're all connected, where we can all experience it together, because it's never happened in a virtual time before. It's
No.
never happened in a time where we could fly and connect before the way it happened this time. So I just want to remind you of that, that it's everybody's first time, and that it is scary for everybody. And there is a lot of uncertainty out there. But what do we know, right? We know that if we wear a mask, we're safer,
Exactly.
right? We know that if we wash our hands, we're safer. So I think those are two things that we need to remember. And
Exactly.
I think that it's also important to hold on to the things that we still have, like going for a walk, like meditation, like connecting this way, even though it's not what we want, even though it is exhausting. I think that it's important to hold on to the things that we know that we do have, because everything else is so uncertain, and never let go of hope. I
No.
think it's important that we never, ever, ever let go of hope. And if we feel
Oh,
ourselves going into that anxiety, we've got to, tap into the resources that we have, like you, Selena. Get in touch with Selena, and find out, are there support circles that are going on during these times? Who
exactly.
could I talk to? Yes, absolutely, because you're not alone.
No,
It's
we're not.
everybody's first time. And let me tell you, I have moments of freak out and meltdowns.
For me, it's likewise. Sometimes I think like, how am I going to cope? How am I going to do
Yeah.
this? And
I've
then,
got a swear jar.
yeah,
I've got a swear jar and
exactly. I have
it's
the same way.
overflowing. It's overflowing.
Now sometimes I look at it and I think, wow, this was a tough day.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, wow. This would be for travel, but I can't do that right now.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Recognizable.
It's an awesome question. It's an awesome question because I think it's something that is ongoing. And I think that never let go of hope is really, really important. And yeah, we're going through another wave here. We quickly got shut down again.
Oh,
Very, very quickly. It's very, very crowded here. And there's a lot of people who just won't wear a mask. And when they opened up the beaches, they congregated to the beaches and they didn't wear masks. And, you know,
exactly.
yeah.
It's likewise here, and also with the social distancing, you see people, some people are holding them to all the rules and everything. And then you see, like, we have even Corona parties right now, that people organize a party, people come together and they don't wear a mask and they see who's getting sick first. So those things are really happening as well. And I'm just
Wow.
flabbergasted by those things as well, because I have something like, how can you do that? Why would you
Wow.
do that? So it's like
Wow.
two different kind of people. Yeah, it's, I don't understand it as well. And it's like, it's kind of strange to notice those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it's a good point. Be aware of everything that is surrounding
Yeah.
what is there. Be grateful for the small things, and that's something I practice now more than ever. It's like, what's in my life already? What can I be grateful for? And start very small. It's like the roof. It's being alive. It's having my son. It's being healthy. It's having this connection with you right
Mm-hmm.
now. It's so rewarding, and it's giving
For
me
me
so much
too.
energy.
For me
Uh,
too. Mm-hmm.
those things are like the, hold on to it, and talk about it. Make sure to talk about it
Yeah.
on social media, in groups, one to one. Make sure to talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
It's normalize it because it doesn't make you bad. It
no,
doesn't make you weak. It
no,
doesn't make you anything other than, it is what it is. And it's hard, guys. I mean, it's not an easy thing to be limited in your freedom and in what you can do to have a release. And if we've learned certain behaviors like going to the gym, if we learned that going to the gym is so good for you to have a release, and then all of a sudden you can't really go to the gym, it's kind of hard. And if one of the things that you would do is go see friends and have dinner on Friday night as a reward for your week, and then all of a sudden you can't do that, you're left to find new tools. And yeah, that could be hard and it could be frustrating, especially when you're trying to work from home. You're still trying to check off all those boxes, but at the same time, now all of a sudden you're a teacher too. It can,
it can be,
it's
it's hard, and it's a
it
lot
can be
because
hard. It can be
your
hard.
routine is like shifting. It's for me as well. When my son is in bed, I start working, so I'm working till 12 or sometimes 1 at night to get everything done. And
Yes.
it's like everything is shifting, and it's finding a new balance in between all the chaos and in everything that is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So and in that case, and that's something I say a lot also in my coaching, be gentle with yourself, be kind.
Yes.
Your thing is
Yes.
the first time you're trying to find a new balance, be
Mm-hmm.
kind and be gentle with yourself.
Sure
um,
thing.
I think that's also key.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. And
I see.
mhm.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go
no,
ahead.
no.
Go ahead.
I see another question coming in. It's a large one. It's from Nikki Chris. This is a fan page, and I'm probably a male, but I'm concerned about women of Thailand and the Philippines, where women get married and have a kid, and suddenly their husband is leaving, and the women are living in poverty.
Mm.
Wow, that's a huge question. Thank you very much for that question. Not an easy one to answer. Um, yeah, I don't know. I will leave it for you first, and then we will elaborate a little bit more.
Okay. Again, thank you for the question, for your concern. I don't know very much about it, to be honest with you.
Um,
It's not my area of expertise. It's not so much where we focus. even though it is something that is of huge concern, the treatment of women around the world is a huge concern for
Exactly.
us. It is definitely something that we keep at the forefront, but this specific issue is not something that that I know much about, so I could offer very little.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I love the question as well. It's also not my expertise, and I think it's devastating when you're already in poverty and your man is like leaving you behind, and you have to figure it out on your own with a newborn child. I don't think that's a very
Yeah,
easy thing to do. So a lot of courage to all those women in that situation. That's for starters. I think one of the things is how difficult it sounds is also staying positive, I think, in a situation and being aware that it's not their fault that it's happening. Don't blame yourself, and try to keep an open mind and stay positive and keep moving forward, how difficult it is, but try to do that. And yeah, more expertise wise, I would say there has to be a fundamental change in everything going on. That's what I would recommend. It's also saying like um, the laws of getting separated should be changed all over the world. Yeah,
yeah,
that's for sure.
yeah.
There's a lot of work that we a lot of work that has to be done when it comes to women and empowerment all over
A
the world.
lot of work, a lot
Why
of work.
all those
Yeah,
things? That's for
yeah.
sure.
And that's why
Um,
it's so important, though. That's why it's so important that we do things like this, where we do talk about it and that we do bring awareness. Um, you know, like the work that you do, Selena. I think when we were talking about it, maybe like 3 weeks ago or so,
yeah,
uh, and you shared with me what it is that you're doing. I think it's so important that we talk about these things because people that it's very common for people to not think it's a problem when they're not affected by it, right?
exactly.
When they are not so aware of the impact it has because they haven't been affected directly. And that's why it's so important that we give these kind of issues a voice and that we do come together and talk about these things. You know, we were talking about girls empowerment,
Hmm.
and one of the people that I was talking with, a woman who is about 28, 29 years old, said to me, I don't think that girls really need to be empowered. That's in your generation. That's in
Oh,
your
wow.
generation. I don't see that being so much of a problem in my generation, she said. And I was like,
Okay.
wow. So, you know that we live in a bubble. We live here in the United States, and you may have certain privileges, but this goes on into other areas, and it's not just the neighborhood that we live in. There's people who live 2 neighborhoods away that don't have the same opportunities that we have,
Exactly.
and it's not about women's equal rights and that the glass ceiling. It's not about that. It's about the immediate concern, the immediate problems that are happening in the household that prevent empowerment. Empowerment is not just what happens in our adulthood. It's what happens when we're kids, because that's
Mhm.
what's going to affect,
Exactly.
the way that we think.
There, your brain is programmed, and there you're
Yes, the behavior.
the
Yeah,
behavior, and that's the
yeah,
pattern that you take throughout life. And that's also what
yeah.
I work with my clients. And it's
Hmm.
when you have to break a pattern at a certain age when you're an adult, and when you're older, it's so much difficult to break a pattern. So I feel you what you say. You can better start teaching them young, start in the houses, start with the parents, start with the environment, and give them possibilities to form themselves to be aware of that problem. And like you're saying,
Yeah,
maybe we have the privileges here, but 2 or 3 neighborhoods, or even in different parts of the world, women and empowerment, and all the opportunities and privileges we have, it is not certain in other parts of the world. And I think we should make it more public, and we should more talk about it. It's
yeah.
2020, so how come
Hmm.
that we have those privileges and other people don't? Why do we have the opportunity for school and education, and other people don't. And those are things like there should be more equality in it. I think
Yeah.
that's my feeling.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Um, Speaking of that, you know how there's on social media, there's this nomination for empowering women. So, hey, I'm nominating you to post a picture of yourself in black and white. Have you seen this on social
Yeah,
media?
I've been tagged as well. Yeah, but it's for Turkish women actually. It's not for empowerment only. It's for Turkish women. And with posting that black and white photo, you're saying actually it could happen to me as well. We have to stop it
Yes.
right here and right now.
Yes.
I saw it going on, and I asked myself the question afterwards, should I have posted it under my picture as well? That this is the base, that it started here, that it is like creating awareness about that subject, that it's not only about empowerment and women supporting women, what is awesome on its own, but it is for the Turkish women exactly getting murdered, and we as women standing up and saying it could happen to us.
Right.
um,
Right.
that's a very strong message.
It's a
That's
very strong message, and it is talking about female empowerment. It is talking about us standing together in solidarity as women who are empowering other women. Because what we're doing is we're bringing it into the awareness. It may not be something that is commonly seen in our cultures, but it is commonly seen in other women's cultures today in 2020. In this day and age, women around the world still face this as a reality. And that's kind of scary.
that's
That's kind of scary. But that brings up that other question that you were talking about what
yeah.
is empowerment?
Exactly. What is empowerment? That's in general. But I received one question. We talked about it a little bit in advance, and I love the question. It's from Emmanuel, a man. Do you think men are well equipped and educated to live with empowered women? So yeah, I think we can fill a whole other life on this subject alone. I love the question though. I don't know if he's watching right now, but maybe he will look afterwards. Um, but I think it is. I'm. I think there's also a shift in patterns, and that's also something that I feel with the coaching that I'm doing. I think it's not only female but also male in this situation, because we are used to have stereotypes. I'm not saying that women should be at home and nurture their children, but it used to be like that. And now for a male, it is very difficult to approach a woman. A woman is like independent on her own, single, sometimes single mother, juggling everything on their own, and they're independent, and they don't need this, they don't have the same needs like women so many generations ago. So for a man, if you go and look to him, look at it revolutionary, they want to provide for the family, they want to be there, they're the male, they want to be there, take care of the family. But then the man meets a woman who is like independent, strong, taking care of her own. And the male nowadays, I feel it from a lot of clients, they say like, I don't even know how to approach a woman like that anymore. I don't know how to speak to a woman like that, because what can I offer that woman? And they're like second guessing themselves, like, I don't have anything to offer. And on the other hand, I think that's also something we as females should do or be more aware of, is like, maybe we should be like sometimes more vulnerable in a relationship and put our guards a little bit down and let a man be a man. You know what I mean? And not always be the tough and independent woman. So I think it's, for me, it's a mix. And I think we can talk about the subject for, yeah, hours as well.
So
So
I've
I,
got my agenda out. We can go ahead and
we can
schedule a
plan
whole
a
other live on
schedule.
this
Yeah,
subject, girl, because
let's
we
do
could go
that.
on and on about
Let's
this.
do that.
Oof.
Yeah,
Listen, this is woof.
but I truly love the question. But I
Yeah.
think this is like a pattern that we society wise are in nowadays. And I think it's very difficult for a male and for a female to find each other with everything that is changing. So I don't know how you experience it, because you're also a very strong and independent woman. I don't know how you see it.
For me, I've always been this way. I've always been very opinionated, very strong in my viewpoint, very I'm here,
Yeah.
right? And there is the question is, do we think that there are men that are equipped to deal with independent women? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that there's men that are equipped for that kind of a match. You know, there's someone that fits everybody's personality type. I'm one of those people that really does believe that. And I think that those kind of mixes will always exist
Mhm.
because I'm a feminist. I'm totally a feminist. You're a feminist. I know you are. But not all feminists are women. Men also are feminists. My brothers are feminists. My husband is a feminist.
Exactly.
And I think that right there, like I said, when you're finding your match, I think that these are people that you have things in common with. And I think that what makes, things work between people is the checks and the balances. So
Mhm.
yeah, in answer to the question, definitely, I think that that they are equipped. Not everybody is built the same. Everybody, we have preferences, but that's exactly what we were talking about with being the leader of your own life is
Exactly.
being in touch with, what your preferences are and understanding where those preferences come from.
Mhm.
As far as balances, yeah, I think that there's definitely a shift from the male energy that we used to function from before,
Exactly.
more, yeah, going into the feminine energy right now. But again, that's a whole other life. That's a whole other, you know,
That's a whole other
it's
subject.
a
Yeah.
whole other thing.
Yeah. I had an interview this week about entrepreneurship and corporate culture and the shift that I made from coach, the financial company in the financial world, well, it is a man's world, to the coaching. And yeah, if I think back to those days, it's like a whole different world. They say like it's equal nowadays. Men and women, we're equal business wise. And then I think back to the days that I went off working in the financial company, and it's not equal. It is not equal. It's
It's
like
still not equal.
it's still not equal. And we're shifting more to the feminine energy. That's for sure. Thank God for that. But we're still living in a man's world, and
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
that's for sure. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got a message here from Nikki Chris. Men are impatient. That's the problem. Yeah, I can imagine some of them.
I think, yeah, we could all experience moments of impatience, I think.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. What is it? I feel that the providing of from a man shifts from the materialistic to the more companionship. From Rob Cupido. Okay, so so we have to step up from the being a present in the materialistic way to companionship. Yeah, that I think, yeah, I fully agree on that one as well. So we're heading for the last 15 minutes already. It's going so fast. We've been chatting all along.
But this
Um,
is the way it is with you and me. So, I mean, yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And I love it. So, yeah, I don't know if there are any questions from our audience about women and empowerment, or if you have a question for Leisis or about Angel and Allies or anything, feel free to ask them right now. If you think of anything behind or after the live story, you can also send me a direct message. I assume they can do it for you likewise.
Of course.
Um, so going into the last 15 minutes, if there's anything you wish to say, like empowerment, women, being a feminist, and all those things, what would it be?
I think for me, I mean, I can only speak from my own experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that one of the most important things that we get to do in this life is to experience humanity from our own eyes and from our own senses. And I know that sounds crazy for me to say it that way, but so many times we don't allow ourselves the freedom to experience whatever it is that we get to experience right now. Not what happened yesterday, not what's going to happen tomorrow, whatever's happening right now.
Right
And if
now.
we just grant ourselves the freedom to have this experience right now, start with that, and to really think about that, and think about the way that you feel, the way that you think. And if there is something that you're feeling that needs to be addressed, find someone to talk about it with. If you are not happy, know that you deserve to be happy. Know that you deserve to have an experience that is a positive one. And if you're not having one, find out why. And
Exactly.
once you are able to find out why, find out what you could do to reverse that.
Mhm.
Talk to someone. There are people out there like Angels and Allies, like Subtle Balance, that want to give you the tools so that you can address these issues, so
Exactly.
that you can live empowered and
Mhm.
be happy, have a more joyful experience. You deserve it. And I don't have to know who you are to know that that is true. I don't have to be on a first name basis with you to know that that is absolute. You deserve it, and you should do it. And
Exactly.
yeah, and that
It's
is what I would say.
it's your birthright to be happy for everybody.
Absolutely.
It is your birthright, and you're not on this planet to only check boxes and do all those things and be unhappy. You're on this planet to lead your life, to become the best version of yourself, and be happy while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Life in all its glory. And it's like you say, here and now, but sometimes it's also easier said than done, because
Oh,
I see it for myself as well. Sometimes it's like I preach those things, I coach people in it, I have the tips, I have the tools, and sometimes it's like also, okay, here and now, come back, Selina, not here, not there, come back
yeah.
here and now, and just experience life in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's making yourself aware about it every day, every moment of the day. And the meditation that we briefly talked about it, I love it as well. I meditate like every day, and it was
Mm-hmm.
for me a huge shift in my energy, and a
Oh,
huge
yes.
shift in my daily routine, and in the way how I experience life and everything around
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Starting your day with meditation and with gratitude really changes the ball game. I know that it has become something that the world is talking about more, but
Mhm.
these are ancient practices. These are practices that culturally were in existence for eons. I mean, they were happening for many, many thousands of years, where people were talking about gratitude and practicing meditation. There is truth to it.
Exactly.
And yeah, and bringing that into our awareness, like you say, is definitely a game changer.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that it's important for us to know that we all deserve to live a more joyful experience, because it is only that way that we could share our light, and that we could bring more light to the world, which is definitely something that the world is needing right now with everything that we're experiencing. It's definitely something that we're needing right now. Never before has the world needed your light more than it does right now.
No, exactly. That's nicely said, and so true as well. If I have one last question for you, it would be like, if you would go back in time and you're 13, what would you say to your 13-year-old self with the experience you have right now? And I
Oh,
know it's you have like 5 minutes, so I'm
you make
sorry.
me cry.
Oh, I'm sorry. What? That's not.
I would say, Lacey, you are enough.
Oh.
And no matter what happens, you are enough. All the things that you think are enough.
Um,
The way that you feel, it's enough. What you have to say, it's enough. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. Let it go. It's okay. Just, you are enough. It's not always going to be this way. It won't last. Just hold on and do not give up hope.
oh.
That's what I would tell my 13-year-old self.
Oh wow, I
Yeah.
really love that answer.
Yeah.
I'm been getting a teary eyes. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is so important to tell yourself then, but even now, you are enough. I have it written on mirrors here in the
Me
house.
too.
I am enough. Every time I come and I look in the mirror, I see the quote, I am enough.
Right. It
And
says,
some days I'm
you are
like,
enough.
oh my God. But on other days it's like, yes, I am enough. So,
Yeah, I bought a mantra band. You know those bracelets, mantra bands, and it
yeah.
says I am enough. I
Oh,
mean, because I seriously, this is my favorite affirmation. It's
mine.
my favorite affirmation behind I am, right?
Yeah,
After I am, it's I am enough. This is
exactly.
this is I am enough.
Exactly. You are
Yeah.
enough. It is,
Yeah.
that is exactly what it is. You are enough. No matter the situation, no matter the
No matter
circumstance,
what.
no matter how you feel, even when you're feeling blue and sad or mad, you are enough. I really loved your post yesterday as well, the vulnerability, and then you just said like, you know what? It's not my day, and you know what? It's okay that it's not
Yeah.
my day. It doesn't have to be like sunshine and rainbows every day. That's not possible. But just letting that feeling be, and just, it's such a form of freedom as well for yourself, and such a form of inner peace. And I think that is something that is very important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. What would you ask? What would you tell yourself?
Oh my. My 30-year-old self, keep on dreaming and believe in your dreams, because if you can dream it, you can make it possible as well. Just have the faith in yourself, have the faith in your dreams and in your strength, and go get it. Go get
Yeah,
it. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I would go after it. So yeah,
yeah. That's
exactly
awesome.
what I would say. Yeah. I see
Awesome.
there's a comment coming in. The last one I think we can talk about. Own ground you walk on and live in the present moment. That's my mantra. That's a beautiful one. Allow, believe, and receive all beautiful things life has to offer.
Oh,
Wow,
beautiful.
that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. That's really
Yeah,
awesome. Thank you
yeah.
very much for sharing this with us. I don't know if there's anybody else who has a question or wants to share something with us. We're going for the last minutes in our live. Let's see. And
In the
yeah, for everyone who joined us, if you have any questions for us, feel free to contact us, direct message on Instagram. I will share this live also on my page, so you can look back at it. Is there anybody who wants to take a print screen and we can like thumbs up and we can share it afterwards as well? Can somebody do that?
Ooh, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. I'm gonna do that right
Yeah.
now. Ready? Ready? Okay, wait. I
One,
can't do
two,
the thumb. You do the thumbs. You do the thumbs.
three.
Did
Now
that
I
work?
hope somebody
Ah, it
took
didn't
a
work.
print screen and we'll send it to us. So no, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you wanna add to the women and empowerment and everything? I think we covered a lot.
Honestly, we could talk about this all day long because there's so many different subjects that go under that about not just women in empowerment, but how women in empowerment affect mothering, how women in empowerment affect the female relationships in the workplace, how women in empowerment affect relationships, whether it's female on female relationships, female on male relationships, romantic relationships. There's so much to be said about empowerment, about the generational gap, you know,
Oh,
what empowerment means for the different generations, because it's different. It really
it
is
is
different.
different. It is.
There's so many things to be said, but I think that for now, I think that this was awesome, and I'm so honored that you asked me, to do this, and I would happily join you to do anything because it's so good to talk with you, Selena. It's so easy to talk with you. The flow is the vibe is, I like it.
Uh,
It's
it's
awesome.
likewise. I'm so grateful to have
Thank
you.
you.
And I don't know what it is between us, but we can even, yeah, we can talk for hours. We
Yeah,
have
we
so
could.
much
We definitely could.
in common and so many subjects we can elaborate on. So thank you very much for doing this. And
For
maybe
sure.
we will create a second one
I
going
think
more
so.
deeper into the subject. because it's like you're saying, women and empowerment, we can discuss a lot about it. And also
Mm-hmm.
women supporting women, I think that's very important to
Oh,
do.
yeah.
I think we rise by uplifting each other, and I think it's so important nowadays to do this. I know you love that as well. I know you do that as well.
Oh,
So
yes. Oh,
that is
yes. I think it's really important to uplift each other. One of the biggest things that we talk about at Angels and Allies is female on female support. You know, we grew up with the understanding that women were competition. You know,
exactly.
and the way that I grew up, we didn't lift each other up. We talked about each other, and we create a culture at Angels and Allies where that is not what we do. What we do is we lift each other because we understand that we rise by lifting each other.
Sure.
Earl Nightingale said that our oh my God, I'm blanking out, that what we get, right, is in direct proportion to the service that we give, right? And I think that that has a lot to do with lifting each other up. That by giving each other our service and by supporting one another, that we get a great return. It's not always money. It's
No,
not
no,
always money. That's
not
not
at
what
all.
success is. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Most likely it doesn't have anything to do with money. It is a
That's right.
different kind of rewarding that you get,
That's right.
and it has so much more value than money. That's for sure. Exactly.
Sure.
That's,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love the quote. I love the quote.
Yeah.
All right, we're ending this live already. It
Yep.
passed by like it was nothing.
Super fast.
So,
Super fast.
exactly. Thank you very much for everyone who joined us during this
Thank you.
live about women and empowerment. Thank you, Leisis, for coming. And this, yeah, at your side, it's very early. So thank you
Yeah,
very much for making it possible.
for sure.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, direct message, whatever is possible. You can still join Lacey the 18th of August and the 19th of August with the workshops. That's also something. And I would say, yeah, as always, stay safe and yeah,
And be well.
and be well. I don't
Yeah.
know if you have anything else to add.
No, have an amazing day, everybody. You know, be present, experience the now, because this is what we have. Have an
Exactly.
amazing, amazing day. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that I get to see you all again. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Bye. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
You too. Bye bye.